Hello, and welcome back to everyone that's tuned into the American Ultra Stock channel. Thank you so much for being with us for the review of the match. The United States played Costa Rica. Camp Cupcake is over. I'll just say I thought it was actually pretty enjoyable, and we won 3-0. Straight to the point with the player ratings, and then we'll go a little bit more in depth on takeaways, main takeaways for this game. Braden, we had one of your favorites, starting goalkeeper was Zach Steffen. How do you evaluate his match back in between the posts for the USMNT? Granted, it is for a B, C, D side.
Well, he didn't let an attacker take it off his feet, so there's a positive there. I mean, he was very good. There's nothing around it. He had a great game. That second save in particular that he made was incredible. Honestly, I think he gained a lot of confidence from that. I don't know what was happening in training. I still don't think the performance matters at all. Freese should have played over him. I'm very disappointed that he didn't. We know what Stefan is. He had a good game today. Cool. It was against Costa Rica's B, C team. He's 29. He's bad in MLS. He's not going to be a solution. Why not play someone who's actually been good in the league? But I mean, if we're just going to evaluate the performance on surface level, it was good. So I have to give him an 8. I think he was just solid, and even the passing as well was really good. The only 3 passes he missed were long balls, and he still got 50% there. So with credit where it's due, he had a good game.
Yeah, I'll have to say I go for an 8. Honestly, I could even scratch a 9 here because judging just by the performance, putting what I think about the player aside, I thought he was phenomenal, really. I think that even Turner, if he's in between the 6, I'm not entirely sure we get a clean sheet after this one. So I have to give him an 8. Props to where it's due. And yeah, now we'll go on right here to Miles Robinson. Got a yellow card. I don't know if he's the right one to go up next, but let's start off with him right here on the defense. What do you think? He got subbed out. I actually thought he was going to see the game out. He was going to be one of the guys to play the full 90 on both, but he got subbed out. Thoughts on his match?
Yeah, he was interesting because he played right back, kind of in the Joe Scally role from the main team, where he kind of stayed back, and in possession it was a back 3, and Daewon Jones left back pushed up the pitch a lot, and I think you could tell that he definitely is not a right back. That's fair to say. Although overall, I think he was okay. The yellow card was so stupid. He just ran into the Costa Rican keeper towards the end of the first half. There's no need for that, but he did have one really good recovery that could have been a big chance for Costa Rica that stemmed from a Daewon Jones giveaway in a dangerous position. He recovered after Zimmerman missed a slide tackle, so props to him for that. I mean, he was playing out of position, played 60 minutes, clean sheet. I'll give him a 6.5, I guess.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6 just because I thought the passing was a little bit but I like that he wasn't just doing the bare minimum and simple. He was trying to play the role of the right back when he was in possession, tucking in when the team was pushing forward. I thought I'll give more credit to Poch really for finding a way to shove him at right back and not look too much out of place. You can tell he's not a right back, but it didn't really. I mean, obviously the opposition plays a part into it as well. But I thought overall a solid match, but nothing that will raise his stock, in my opinion. One really good. I think he had 2 really good moments. There was one header that I was impressed that he actually got to win as well. But yeah, I'll give him a 6, standard 6. Now next to him on defense, we had Walker Zimmerman, who I thought wasn't going to be involved with the USMT anymore after the Olympics from the tone of his speech. But he got to start today. He got to play. Thoughts on his 90 minutes?
Yeah, I think it was good and bad for him. Mostly good. Like I said, I think the main core moment was what I just mentioned when I talk about Miles. He missed a slide tackle, and it could have been bad. So I think that's a pretty significant mistake, just because, I mean, if Miles wasn't there, and there were times in the game that Miles wasn't there, it could have been bad. But other than that, he was solid in the air, which is big. I mean, he won all of his aerial duels. All of his passing was good. I mean, it was safe, yeah, but he still completed the passes, clearances, whatever. And even off a corner, he had one nice flick to Brian White that probably should have been an assist, honestly. I was impressed by that. I didn't know he had that kind of flair to his game, but I think I gave Miles a 6.5, right? I'll just give Zimmerman the same, I think.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6. I thought there were some moments that were a little bit iffy. Could have been a little bit better. Overall, I think he knows his role with the USMNT has diminished significantly. But judging by what Campbell did as well, I completely understand Poch giving Walker the start right here. I'll give him a standard 6. Good match, solid match. Next to him, we had Team Ream, who was obviously still an A-teamer, it seems, and he got to play the full 90. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I didn't really notice Reem much, which I think is good for a defender because I think his mistakes are what stand out. His passing was good. 9 long balls out of 11 completed is really solid. I think most of those went to Dewan Jones or Brian Gutierrez on the left hand side, and I mean, we know Tim Ream has the quality to be a good ball playing center back. Even despite what he's shown in the last few USMNT camps, especially against a team as poor as this, he also won all his aerial duels, which is a plus. I mean, granted, I don't think this Costa Rica side had anyone who was that tall, so it wasn't too difficult for the two center backs to win their aerial duels, but they still got the job done. I think I'm just going to give him a 6.5 too. I mean, it's boring, but I can't really remember. I think there was one time where he got dribbled, but other than that, it was very solid.
I think that anticipation is the new key to his game, and he was really good. Again, really poor opposition, but overall, if that was a 20-year-old center back playing like that, I would be really hyped about it. So I think that's really good. Like you said, not being shining a light on his name is a good thing. He's a center back, so we shouldn't really be paying too much attention in terms of him having highlights. So yeah, I'll give him slightly above 6.5. I gave the others a 6, so yeah, I'll give him 6.5. Next to him, we had a player who was a bit polarizing, some good, some bad. Daywin Jones got an assist as well. Thoughts, and what is his rating?
Yeah, the assist saved him. I think it was a really good ball to Patrick Ajimong, and of course the striker had a good finish as well. Just a typical striker's goal. But other than that, I thought Daewon Jones was pretty poor, to be honest, and I was expecting better from him just because he's been with the A team in the past, over the past couple of years. It hasn't necessarily looked too horrible, at least when you compare him to some of the other MLS guys that have gotten calls over the years, like one Shaq Moore. But I thought he was really underwhelming. I thought he was getting cooked a lot by the Costa Rican attackers. Like I said, when I talked about that one intervention that Miles had, he was the one who lost the ball in a really dangerous spot that could have turned into potentially a goal. I'm going to give him 5, I think. I would have done a little bit lower, but the assist was nice. Maybe I'll bump it up to a 5.5.
I'll give him a 4 even with the assist. I know I said some good, some bad, but I thought it was just all bad and a couple of okay moments and one good one, which was the delivery. I mean, we know he has that on his locker, but overall, against this type of opposition, he's not a guy I would trust to play in Gold Cup even. I was really expecting a little bit more. So, yeah, bad match by him, in my opinion. It won't take it away from the assist, beautiful delivery, but overall, you got to do more. You're a defender first and foremost, and he looked absolutely out of his depth defending, in my opinion. If that's a good player, that he's not to shame the Costa Ricans that played tonight, but if that was better opposition, he would have been cooked even more. So, yeah, I thought it was a really poor match from the overall stance of things. Maybe I'm harsh, but I'll give him a 4. Moving on right here to the midfield, I was really impressed and happy that he got to play because last match I said that he was better than Kramaski when he played. Today he played it alongside him, but Emeka Nelly got to start. I think it's his first ever start with USMT related. So, what did you think of his match?
Yeah, I do think he started out a little slow. I think you could see when he came on as a sub in the first game, he was a little bit nervous, didn't really want to take any risks. He mainly just passed sideways and backwards. And I think you saw that a little bit. He had one shaky pass that could have been a giveaway in a dangerous position. But after that, I mean, I thought he was incredible, honestly. And the key moment, of course, was the assist that he got to Caden Clark. He wins the ball high up the pitch, puts in a good cross. Excellent finish as well by Caden Clark. We'll get to him. But I thought Anelli, obviously, that's the moment that's going to stand out to most people. I saw some people even say it was Tyler Adams-esque. I don't hate the comparison, but as well as that, I mean, his passing was good. His tackling, he won all of his tackles 3 for 3, which is important. And I think one of the most underrated things is he didn't commit any fouls. And for a CDM, usually you expect several fouls, maybe a booking in transition or something. 0 fouls committed over a 90-minute performance as the lone 6. I think it was really impressive, honestly. And for me, he was my man of the match. I think they officially gave it to Stefan, probably because people didn't really know who Anelli was. It was a fan vote. But I was really impressed. And hey, we did that bold predictions video. Maybe the guy who said he'll be at the Gold Cup was onto something. There's a lot of competition, but he was really good in his first start. I'm gonna give him an 8.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think that if Aiden Morris played tonight, he wouldn't have done better than Anelli. I just wish he was a little bit younger. But hey, 25, he can still honestly make the jump. Maybe he gets some inspiration from Sands and gets a move. I don't know if there are too many rumors or people looking into him. Hopefully, this game helps shine a light on it because I thought he was tremendous. Really, like you said, very clean on the tackling. And I like that he wasn't just backing off and not committing to challenges if needed. He was stepping into it, stepping into the passes as well. You could see that he was very confident. He knew he was having a good game. And yeah, got the assists. I mean, most of that just goes to the absolutely amazing finish, but I'll give him an 8. Yeah, I think, well, I gave Stefan an 8. I'll give him an 8.5. He was also, in my opinion, better than Stefan overall. So moving up next to him, we had Kremaski play. Almost played he played one half. And thoughts on it?
I think it was definitely an improvement over the first game, although I think there's an argument to be made that it was worse opposition. He was solid. I mean, I don't think he had anything eye-opening in terms of the attacking play, and that's usually what you would expect from him, as he is more, I would say, of an attacking style 8. But he did have one nice ball out to Guti that I thought was pretty impressive. Other than that, he just did his job, really. I mean, he was in a double pivot, slightly more attacking than Anelli, but he also won all of his tackles. I don't know what it was about this Costa Rica team. They just never win their duels. But he did his job defensively, no real lapses. He just did what I can ask. So I'll give him a 6.5 as well. It seems like I'm giving a lot of those.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7 just because I thought in the past Kremaski always looked not scared but very timid on the play. Today I felt like he was confident. Maybe again it was the Costa Rican team. They were very poor, let's be honest. But for what I expect and how he has played in the past with USMNT, even against lower level opposition with the youth teams, I'll give him a 7. I thought he had a good game, very solid. And yeah, I think he fits more the box to box if he was to maximize his ceiling. And moving on right here to the right-hand side, we had Indiana Vasilev playing. Thoughts on his match? He got the nod, and I don't think it would be really remembered, but thoughts on how his game played out?
Yeah, honestly, I can't remember anything he did. I was taking notes during the game for good moments, and I didn't have anything for Vasilov. I mean, no bad moments either. Granted, there wasn't anything where he had a bad giveaway or something like that, but it was just kind of pedestrian, and that's not really what you want to see from a right winger, at least. But we've talked about in the last game. I'll use Brian Gutierrez against Venezuela as an example. Even when he was trying things that weren't working, at least he was showing the ambition. Vasilev, I mean, I don't know. I thought he was even better against Venezuela in his, 20 minutes off the bench. I thought he was actually a pretty bright spark. Today, I don't think he really did much. I'm just going to give him a 5, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, it won't be remembered. I don't think he'll remember too much of it if he tries to make a compilation of how that match went. I'll give him a 5, really. And again, didn't do anything bad, but if you do anything bad as an attacker against Costa Rica, you need to have a horrible game. So overall, very average. I'll give him a 5. In the center of the midfield today, we sadly didn't get Poch's boy starting. We had Diego Luna starting, rightful starter at the number 10. I thought he had a really good match. The man with the most unique physique I've ever seen, really. If he goes to Europe, it'll be funny. I'm curious to how people will react, but props to Luna. I mean, really quality. I'm curious to see how you evaluate his match.
Yeah, I mean, if this was a rating on mentality, it'd be 11 out of 10. Incredible. He probably broke his nose. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. He goes to the sideline, of course, get it checked. If you check his Instagram, his new profile picture is really funny. And then he basically begged Poch to keep playing, and then immediately comes back on. His first action, beautiful through ball to Brian White, good finish as well from the striker, and it's an assist. He created 6 chances and only played the first half. That's incredible, and half of that was with a broken nose. Honestly, running out of words for Diego Luna. I hope he gets at least consideration for the March camp in the Nations League. I think he's earned a chance, and especially considering how much he's been overlooked in the past year or so by U.S. soccer, I'm really happy for him. And I mean, Poch gave him the nickname Big Balls after the match. I think it's deserved. What a game. I'll give him an 8 as well. I think he was up there with Pinelli and Stefan.
If he played the full match, he would have been my man of the match because I'm sure he would have created a bit more, get involved maybe in the score sheet with some other chances and assists, perhaps. What a match! And I like this type of player that he showed today. I mean, the grit, even with blood, and doesn't really care. And I'm pretty sure he broke his nose. It looks pretty broken, to be honest. But what a pass! The weight of the pass was amazing. Reading the play as soon as not Gutierrez, Brian White sort of fakes making the run. He knows where to put it. Amazing pass. I hope he gets a move. I just really wish, I really hope that he gets to go to Europe as soon as possible. The summer being the latest, really. I mean, even right now, I think a lot of teams in Europe could use him. I'll give him an 8. And I'm pretty sure it would have been maybe a 9 if he got to play the full game, but props to him. And what a nice nickname, too. Now, moving on to Brian Gutierrez, a lot more lively. I thought a lot better than the first one, even though he played only one half.
Yeah, I also think he was better than the first game, although I will say I think a lot of his threat came very early on. Granted, he only played the first 45, which was fair because he also played in the first game a lot, but ultimately I think he faded off towards the end of the first half. I was a little bit disappointed. He had one shot that was really close off of a rebounds that I was hoping would sneak in there, but other than that, I mean, honestly, he had a couple of decent set piece deliveries, threatened a little bit. At least he was trying to go at defenders, which was good. I'm just going to give him a 6. Honestly, I think we could have seen a little bit more from him than we did in this camp because, I mean, we know the quality is there for anyone who watches him in MLS. But ultimately, I think just a little short of the mark.
Yeah, I'll be honest, a little underwhelming. Better than the first one, which was really underwhelming. I don't know, Gutierrez, when he gets the ball, even the way that he controls it, dribbles, I expect something's going to happen. It doesn't really come off, at least in this camp. It didn't. So I'll give him a standard 5.5, really. A little bit better than Vasilev because he had more intent in his play, but overall, not that good. Expected a bit more, to be quite honest. Now, moving on to the striker, Brian White, props to him. He did what Josh Sargent can't seem to do and read the play for his goal, made a good run, good finish as well. Thoughts on him, who I think once at one point played for the Union, correct? So another former Union player getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, Union Academy products. He won GA Cup with our U17s. It's always nice to see our former players doing well, even though he never played in the first team level. One thing that I really liked about his game, even though there were a few missed chances in there, I mean, let's be honest, especially the one that Walker flicked to him off the corner, there should have been a goal. There was a couple other ones in there that he probably could have done better on, one that he kind of missed a touch. But the thing that I really liked is not only was he getting in a lot of good areas, he was very lively, very, very active in the game. He scored his first big chance. And yeah, he missed a bunch after that, but I think it's key that his first one, he made a perfect run, great ball from Luna, obviously, and just a great striker's finish there. Yeah, we wish he would have scored a brace or a hat trick maybe, but the fact that he took his first chance, I think it is big, and we've seen strikers in the past not do that, and especially I mean, let's be real, I don't think he's going to get a USMNT call-up ever, but if he somehow did, it wouldn't be as the starter, it would be as a backup, and as a backup, you don't have enough time to miss your first big chance. So I think that's something underrated. Another thing, actually, he had an incredible slide tackle. I think it was in the first half that started a counterattack. Unfortunately, it fizzled out. I think Luna misplayed a pass, but that was really unexpected. I wasn't expecting a striker, especially someone like him, to make that tackle. I think it was probably our best tackle of the night. So huge props to him. I think he played very well. I'm going to give him a 7.5, I think, for the goal. It would have been higher if he scored a one or more.
Yeah, I mean, the Walker one kind of dots it down a little bit for me. He really should have scored that chance. I'll give him a 7. I was impressed with how his mobility was throughout the game. He strikes as a type of guy, and it's wrong to label, oh, he's big, so therefore he must be slow or not agile. No, he was very lively, like you said. Really good finish. And again, props to him for getting in the positions to have some misses. And none of them were really atrocious. I thought the Walker one is one that he really should have played. That should have scored, and at times the first touch wasn't all there, the dribbling, the second touch sometimes, but overall good match for him. I think a 7 is fair. Now, starting with the guys that came on right here, we'll start with the guy that scored a beautiful finish. I mean, first hit strike, Caden Clark gets on the score sheet. Really happy for him. How would you grade his performance?
Yeah, his first USMNT goal. Very happy. Excellent finish on the first time. I mean, Anelli did excellently to even make that play happen, but the ball was bouncing a little bit. It definitely was not an easy goal to score, especially on the first time with the left foot. beautiful, beautiful strike. I think that alone gives him probably a 7 match rating. Other than that, he had a really nice turn as well, even before the goal. And he played the through ball to Day One Jones. Jones wasted the chance, but the through ball and the play definitely did not go unnoticed by me. I thought he was really solid, honestly, for someone who's already experienced so much in his career with the failed transfer to Leipzig and that whole debacle. It was underwhelming in Minnesota at first when he came back, his hometown club, of course. Someone who's gone through so much in his career to still only be 21, I think his future is bright. I don't think he's done in Europe. He'll be there in a few more years after a season or two more with Montreal, where he'll show out. And I don't think you can write him off, honestly. And that's not something I would have been expecting to say a couple of months ago. So huge props to him. A great match. I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I mean that type of goal is amazing to score. Once you hit right on, we in Brazil would say in the vein. You know, it's the perfect timing, and yeah, really good match. You can tell the quality is there. Again, sort of like Gutierrez, just the way he dribbles the ball. You know that he has a lot of intimacy with how he wants things to come off. So yeah, I'll give him a 7 as well. Moving on to Jack McGlynn, played the second half. He already made his name on the first game, but he came on as well. Thought about his match.
Yeah, I'm gonna group him and Matko Miljevic together because I mean they both came on at halftime with Kidd and Clark, and I think a lot of the things they were doing were similar. There was so much good interplay between those two in particular. You can tell the chemistry is already there from the first game they played, and they were just passing. It was like bounce passes, really, just off of each other. And it was really fun to watch at times. I think Matko created a little bit more than McGlynn, but granted, that's what you would expect from a number 10. I'm gonna give both of them a 6.5. They both had a kind of a stupid yellow card as well, which was funny. I mean, Matko showing his aggressive side, just kicking a player in the knee when there was no chance he could have got the ball. McGlynn got booked for diving. He was trying to win a pen where he probably could have just stayed on his feet and shot. But overall, at least, you know what, in Matko's perspective, at least he didn't punch somebody. And McGlynn, he showed everything he needed to in the first game. So they just did their jobs.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Although McGlynn not staying on his feet and just trying to score, I don't get that one. But anyways, he's still young. That's sort of thing that you kind of expect. And yeah, I think 6 for both of them is fair. That's what I'll go with. And now we had, I mean, Shaq Moore came on. Do you want to grade him, or can we just skip? Not to hate on the guy. I don't think he had much. He wasn't relevant, really. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, in Shaq Moore and Max Arston, they both came on. Arston was 10 minutes after Shaq Moore. I mean, we can definitely grade Ajimong because he had an impact even in the 15 minutes. But Shaq Moore, the only thing I noted down for him is he lost the ball in the midfield that started the Costa Rica counter. Other than that, nothing important. Arston as well. I mean, he was playing out of position though because Daewon Jones was at left back. Arston filled in at left wing. Nothing really of note for either of them. I don't think they did enough to warrant a rating, good or bad. Ajimong, though, I'll talk about him. Excellent finish. I mean, the fact that he scored in both games, especially off the bench in the second one, I think he showed a lot in this camp. I think if we were to do a stock watch, I think he'd probably be the number one up, which I don't know if I was expecting. I mean, we've seen the talent he has with Charlotte this season, but overall, just he did his job. I'll give him a 6.5 just because he wasn't on for so long.
Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, they play in boring positions, so to be honest, the game was kind of resolved already. I'll go with that as well for them. And finally, I mean, we have to say one of the big winners in the camp, Patrick Ajimang. Beautiful finish. I said it during the game to some people. If that's Josh Sargent, not to hate on the guy, but he would find a way to not score. You can tell the confidence, the incisiveness to take that shot right after the first touch. Beautiful finish. I mean, the guy's a giant too. It's absolutely insane. Maybe I'm being deluded, but he could be a really realistic option for the A team, just because of the solely on the physicality that he brings in, and he's actually a pretty quick dude as well. I'm curious to see how you would grade him.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said everything I needed to for him. I think just the one thing that you mentioned is his mobility is crazy. I mean, you talked about Brian White maybe not looking the most agile. I think Adjumong's even more of that. I mean, he's a huge guy, 6'4", very physical. I mean, we saw it mainly in the first game. Every time that he got the ball, the defenders were hugging him just because they just couldn't bring him down. It's the same thing. The turn he had as well for his goal, brilliant. I mean, it was everything you could ask for a striker, and I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to say he could be in the A-team conversation, especially with Balogun hurt right now, and Sargent hasn't scored in 5 years for the national team.
Yeah, like I said, and just he brings something different. I mean, at one point we were considering maybe Brandon Vasquez because of the heading capacity. I mean, this guy's gigantic. I haven't really seen him head the ball too much, but I would just assume it's good. He's a giant, really. He towers over defenders, still very agile. Really impressed with him. I think one of the biggest winners in the camp. And on that note, as we finish the video, I'd like to ask you guys: do you want a content reviewing the camp as a whole? Typically we do that, but this is Camp Cupcake. I'm not sure. Just let us know in the comments below. We'll make sure to respond. Thank you so much for watching. Again, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you next time. And I'm gonna have a haircut next time.